Wings of Fire fandom tends to have ubiquitous opinions on various topics. For example, most of the fandom agrees that Joy Ang's arc is amazing and Mudwings deserve more recognition. But not all shared opinions are positive. For every positive, there are 2 negatives, like hating on ending for book 10 and 15, and also just disliking book 14 in general. But no other thing in the fandom seems to be as widely hated as Scavengers, as proven by this poll I put up on my channel a week ago. How did it get this way, and will the fandom have to come to terms with their fear of Scavengers as the series expands? Before we get started, if you are new to this channel, please think about subscribing. I regularly post both Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats content so you'll never be bored. Before we get started, if you are new to this channel, please think about subscribing. I regularly post both Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats content so you'll never be bored. And to my current subscribers, thank you so much for supporting me. I wouldn't have gotten here without y'all. Scavengers have always had a presence in the series. For a lot of readers who read it before the graphic novels, including myself, it was hard to tell at first what Scavengers were. However, soon we realized they were humans. Scavengers were first mentioned when talking about the exigence of the war. Queen Oasis of the Sandwings was killed by a scavenger, and there was no clear heir, so all of her daughters fought to keep the throne. Soon after we learn about that, the Dragonettes escape the cave and discover Queen Scarlet, who is fishing for scavengers using treasure. They are captured, and while in the arena, they have to fight scavengers, though they feel sympathy towards them. When the Dragonettes break free, they rescue the scavengers and take them outside the castle. Scavengers are not seen again until book 3, where they are being kept by Blaze in the Arctic. The Dragonettes, of course, do not want them to be eaten by Icewings or Sandwings, so they rescue them too. In the 4th book, scavengers are not talked about, but in book 5 they make a resurgence. Smolder, one of the sons of Queen Oasis, is keeping one as a pet. This one is named Flower, and she was involved in his mother's murder. Sunny realizes from a dream of hers that scavengers may have the missing Sandwing treasure, so she goes to a destroyed city of theirs. The scavengers do help her find some Sandwing treasure, but it is not what she's looking for. When she returns back to Smolder at the stronghold though, she is able to find the treasure she's looking for with the help of Flower. In the next arc, scavengers play an even smaller part, as they didn't do anything as big as starting a war. Winter, the most emo and reclusive dragon, keeps a scavenger named Bandit as a pet. He abandons this scavenger in the woods after deciding to leave Jade Mountain Academy. In escaping peril, the namesake sees scavengers out in the desert. One of them seems to be sad to her, but she comments that scavengers are like any other animal and do not have feelings. In Darkness of Dragons, Keebly and Winter walk in on Keebly's evil grandfather playing a cruel game involving scavengers. Winter calls out for him to stop, causing trouble for him and Keebly, but saving the life of the scavengers. After they escape Keebly's grandfather's compounds, they bring the scavengers with them and release them into the desert. The epilogue revealed that in his exile, Winter was learning more about scavengers. He had even established a scavenger sanctuary, though this project was quickly growing into a small village of random dragons without homes. In the next arc, scavengers had a new name, as we are focusing on new dragons on a different continent. Now they are being called reading monkeys. Blue, the protagonist of the first book in the arc, wanted to keep one as a pet, but was warned against it because of the carnivorous hivewings who would have eaten it. Cricket, the second protagonist of the arc, also wants to know more about the reading monkeys and how they eat books. They were not relevant in the Poison Jungle, the 3rd book in the arc. At this point in the series, dragons regard scavengers mainly as animals or pets. If you've ever done anything related to writing, you may have heard of a save the cat moment. This is the moment where a hero provides help for a weaker person or cat in order to show their heroic traits. Every protagonist thinks positively of scavengers. When given scavengers in bad situations, they always choose to save them. While this would be good if they were saving something like cats or another pet, having them be humans puts them in an even greater light, because we are humans and we do not like to hear about humans dying. Scavengers are not their own characters at this point. They are mainly used for world building or to further a character's personality. Dragon's Lair changed all of it. It was a book released between the main books The Poison Jungle and The Dangerous Gift. In that book, it was revealed that all along during the first arc, the scavengers had their own plot that affected the main plot from the shadows. Sandstorm had died during the Outlaws raid not because of the Outlaws, but because of a scavenger poisoning him. Deathbringer had a valid reason to hate scavengers. The scavengers in the arena were there after trying to steal from dragons. In my opinion, the book was pretty solid. The pacing worked well, even though the time skips were often years long. There were also 3 points of view being juggled around. I was able to follow the plot very well and not get confused about the timeline or who did what despite that for the most part. Out of the 3 perspectives, I liked Ren the most. She was just so entertaining all the time and I love her so much. Leaf was cool, but I feel like he was a bit stale. The third perspective lost me a bit, and I had to search up her name for this. Her name was Ivy. I feel like she was overshadowed by her best friends and the vibrant characters around her, but I felt like she was sweet, and I can relate a lot to being the third wheel in relationships and also drawing. A lot of readers were annoyed by the book coming out as they expected Wings of Fire to remain a Dragon series. However, there were plenty of other books that had been released as companions, so it was assumed that this would be a one-off event. The book was also seen as being a breath of fresh air. In the most recent arc, the Scavengers side plot has been tied into the main story. In the Dangerous Gift, humans publicly declared themselves as sapient beings. The Dragon Queens promised to take more care surrounding them, and Renan was sent along with Sky to go and investigate the lost continent's Othermind. In that book, humans became even more involved in the plot as they inhabited the caves that the Othermind was also in. A solid part of the book was in the caves, despite our protagonist not speaking Scavenger, which made it a tad bit boring. Even after we got out of the caves and into the mind space, we had even more Scavengers. It was revealed that the Othermind was actually the memories of a dragon, a plant, and also a scavenger. We also got to see it scorching, the event that caused humans to lose their dominance over the planet, which was cool. However, I feel like humans should remain that way. Not as a dominant species or one that stands on the same level as dragons mentally, but one considered as rats. It leads not only for good dragon plots where we don't have to worry about the humans stealing the spotlight, but also for interesting human plots as it adds more tension every time a human needs to do something out in the open. The main antagonist of this arc was also revealed to be a scavenger portion of the plant, who tried to control the dragons but failed, reversing the common trope of dragon riders and proving that's a bad idea. The status quo for dragons and scavengers has changed in this arc, because the scavengers being publicly declared sapients. Though this is a small detail in the series, many worry it will have a ripple effect towards scavengers dominating the plot, which over the time readers have become annoyed with. The major problem with scavengers becoming more prominent in the plot for readers is that we already have dragon books about humans. Dragon Rider is practically a genre, including books like Eragon and movies like How to Train Your Dragon, and yes, I'm aware that that is also a book. Wings of Fire rather uniquely doesn't focus on humans. Instead, it focuses on the dragons. It gives a possibly more realistic look at a world with dragons. That if it was full of apex predators more powerful than even polar bears and the appetite to match, it would be unlikely that humans would be able to domesticate them. Even if they tried, they would likely fail, shown by Rattlesnake's demise and the rise of dragonkind, in part because of his own hubris trying to tame them. It's more likely that humans would be decimated as shown in the series. I feel like the scavenger plots are actually interesting. I want to know what is happening with the indestructible king, or lord, I forgot what his name was. I want to know whether scavengers will try making friends with dragons or not. There's a lot of cliffhangers going on with them. I feel like scavengers are perfect for a spin-off series, that way we can still get content in the dragon universe, but too we can refresh our dragon related ideas for a new arc so we can have more fresh ideas and new perspectives. I would like Wings of Fire to still remain dragon focused in the long term though. What do you think about scavengers? Good, bad? Do you want to see them in more books? Comment down below. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. I make Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats videos pretty often, and your support would mean a lot to me. And to those who have already subscribed, thank you for your continued support. I wouldn't have gone here without y'all. Peace out.